Are you finding that good people are really hard to find, and even more that once you have somebody, it's just a nightmare and you wish that they didn't work for you because you just let them fog up a mirror and you wish you never did that? And you feel like you're stuck and it's like, what do I do? Why can't I find good people? Hey, badass business owners, my name is Tammy and I'm here to help you grow your business, but more importantly, grow those profits. Now, you're probably wondering, first off, Tammy, what do people and hiring people have to do with my profits? Well, if you have to ask that question, then you're missing one of the biggest things. First off, your people, your team is the number one expense that you have after cost of goods typically. It's your number one operating expense. It can cost you anywhere from 20 to 30, 40, 50% of your profits just from people alone. Now, the way they can cost you even more profit is if you've got bad people and they're horrible with customers and they're just doing a really poor job, they're going to cost you even more profits. And it just kind of snowballs because you have time that you have to take out to go out and find the right people, train them, develop them, all of that. Even more profit that's going down the drain with a bad hire. Listen, I'm like you. I can't stand hiring. I have hired thousands of people over the course of my lifetime, and it's one of the least favorite things I've ever had to do in business. But I was smart enough to realize in my 20s that it also was one of the most important things that I would ever do for my business, whether I was working for corporate America or running one of my own businesses. And it's important that you really understand that if you are going to run a business that's going to have people in it, you've got to get your arms around this one piece of your business because you will make way more money as time goes on than you will anything else. Because good people want you to succeed. They want the business to succeed. And when your people want the business to succeed, they're going to go out there and they're going to take care of people like there's no tomorrow. They're going to make sure that they're cautious and careful with the way they're doing the job so they don't cost you money through through damages or doing things inappropriately, incorrectly, stuff like that. The other thing too is if you hire the right people, a really good, solid person is kind of like having two mediocre people. So even though you can pay them really well because they're actually saving you money versus having to have two mediocre people with a high amount of money. So let's kind of step back a little bit because I do want to cover a couple of very important things when it comes to your team. First and foremost, I can't tell you how many times I speak with a small business owner who is talking to me about their team. And the way they're describing one or two of the individuals is as if they really did not want them to be working for them. And it could be that they were just generally lazy. It could be that they were late. It could be that they had a bad attitude. Whatever the case may be, you could just feel it coming through, whether it was on the phone or through a Zoom call. You can just feel the fact that they wish that person was no longer on their team. And here's the cool thing. You don't have to have anybody on your team that you don't want to have on your team. So if you feel that way about anyone on your team, that's your fault because you either hired them wrong, you failed to hold them accountable, or you just won't pull the plug. And one of the most common things that I get from people is, yeah, but. And yeah, but. Now, what does that mean? That means that they will go on and tell me something terrible about them. Maybe they're always late. Maybe they've got an attitude. Maybe they just don't do things right. Whatever the case may be. But the yeah, but is something else that they do well. So they might show up for work late, but they do a great job when they are there. They might have a crappy attitude with the customer, but they do a great job at what it is that they do. It could be one thing or the other. But here's the problem. They're still costing your money and they're a cancer on your team. And more than likely, they're sending a message to the other members of the team that it's okay to get away with what you're doing. And it's going to make you have a much more difficult time to hold somebody accountable for attendance if you're letting someone else get away with it, right? Because now they're saying, well, so-and-so gets away with it. Why can't I get away with it? Or, you know what? Why are they making more money than me when they obviously don't show up to work and they don't care about the rest of us? Not showing up to work is one of my pet peeves because to me, that hurts everybody on the team, right? It hurts your customers because now you're running behind. It helps their fellow workers. It hurts them, they can't count on this other individual and it drags out their day, whatever the case may be. They usually have a bad attitude like, oh, well, so what? Yeah, I'm late. And it just snowballs from there. So it's one of the things that I think that we put up way too much with people who don't show up to work on time. Now, let's keep going through this. So I often will ask, why do you keep them? What's holding you from holding them accountable? And sometimes it's like, Tammy, I just don't have time. I don't have time to go out and find somebody else. So you have time to go behind this person and constantly deal with their problems and the attitudes and how they spill with everybody else to stop with the other employees. I mean, there's so many excuses that people make as to why they put up with somebody, and it's totally wrong. Yes, I understand that some of you have a very specialized business, and it's very difficult to find somebody that has the skill set that you need for that business. But I promise you, they are out there. But here's what happens. Sometimes we create this self-fulfilling prophecy. If we were to go out and we were to say, I'm going to build a business that stands for something, that, you know what, we offer great customer service. We do a fantastic job. We show up when we say we're going to show up. You know what, we just build this reputation with our customers that we are the most awesome things in sliced bread. But on behind the scenes, you need to build the exact same thing with your employees, that you are the place people want to go, that you only hire the best, you only put up the best, but you take care of them and you love on them and you make sure that they're paid well and that you've got whatever benefits you can offer, even if it's nothing. But at the end of the day, that you are training, developing them, you care what they say. Most people don't leave a business because of money. They leave a business because of a crappy owner or the fact that they don't feel that they're included. They don't feel like they're listened to. But it's way easier to save money when they're leaving, even though it's something else that's driving them. The reason I say that is because if you create a culture in your business around your employees that you are the greatest business owner to go work for, those people that are specialized in what you do will be banging down your door to come work for you. You see, really good people already work for somebody else. So in order for you to get them, you have to give them an option that you're a better place to come work for. Otherwise, they're going to stay right where they're at. So if you happen to be, I don't know, a plumber in a particular town and you're like, oh, I can't get other plumbers. Well, the plumbers are out there. They're just working for someone else. But if you were the best place on earth for them to go work for, trust me, those plumbers will be knocking on your door saying, can I come get you? Now it's different because now when you create a business where everybody wants to work for you, you get to say no. You're no longer hiring people because they fog up a mirror. And let's face it, I'll guarantee you have hired somebody on your team, if not a lot on your team, but definitely at least one or two over the course of time where you needed a person so bad, you were willing to hire anybody. And that's exactly who you hired. You hired them and you knew it was a bad hire the minute they started working, probably even before they started working. And then you thought, oh, I've already told them I was going to hire them. Now I got to keep going. And then you put up with them for so long. You know, I'm telling you, what I found is when I took the time up front to find the right person, I was more likely to keep them because I also knew that I was going to make sure I trained them correctly and put them on a training and development schedule, that I tried to find out what it is that they wanted to achieve so that way I could work with them on that, even if it was just to make them the best at what it is that they were. I knew someday they might leave, but at the end of the day, they wanted to stay with me until they had to leave, if that makes any sense. And that's where you also lower your turnover, right? They're not leaving you as often if they feel like you're the place to work for. So yes, you're putting all that time up front, but you're actually hiring fewer people along the way. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're always hiring. You're always looking for people. And that's hard to do when you're over payroll and you're like, I don't have any room to hire anybody. But if I was to ask you, would you if you could wave a magic wand and replace somebody on your team overnight, would you do it? The odds are you're probably going to say yes to at least one individual. So this is why you're always hiring. You're always hiring because you need to find somebody who upgrades your team, who brings in a whole different dynamic, a better attitude, whatever it is you need to add to your team. Now you have the ability to hire them. And meanwhile, you can coach and performance manage the other individual. And one of two things are going to happen. You're going to hire that person and you're automatically upgrading your team. But that other person, that low person on the totem pole, they're going to do one of two things. Either you're going to let them go because you're just done dealing with whatever it is you're dealing with, or they're going to pull their head out their butt and all of a sudden they're also going to become a much better employee for you. And that's one of the other areas that you can look at is bringing someone aboard who's probably going to elevate the team. Too often we're chasing. It's so funny. We're afraid to hire somebody because we're like, oh, where am I going to get the payroll to pay for them? But yet we will hang on to really bad people and pull those sales and pull those profits down. So on one hand, I'm just saying spend money on something that's going to give you a return versus you hanging on to people that is costing you money, and that they're just not performing at the level that they need to be performing at. It really is how you look at it and what you're willing to put up with. Do you really want to make more money? Do you want more sales? Do you want more profits? And are you willing to invest in your team? And I kind of touched on this part a few times throughout this, if you've been listening. It really is you. At the end of the day, it comes down to you. You have to be somebody that people want to work for. Not only do they want to work for you, they want to give you the best that they have. They want to come running and gunning and giving you 95, 100, 110% of what they got because they love you so much. And I can tell you that there is no greater feeling in the world when your employees go above and beyond behind your back because they want you to succeed. And I've had that multiple times throughout my career, and your heart just swells so big knowing that these people want you to succeed. I know business owners who are just amazed that they have people on their team that are better than them because that person really wants to succeed, not just for them, but for the business owner that they work for. Those are the kinds of people that you want to hire. And like I said, they are out there. Yes, we have some people out there that don't want to work. Don't hire them. Okay? I know there's people out there that have attitudes. Don't hire them. I know there's people out there doing a poor job because they just don't care and they only think of themselves. Great. Don't hire them. You get to pick who's on your team. And when people sit there and they're like blaming everyone else, no, you need to blame the person in the mirror. You get what you accept. And if you're accepting bad people and you're accepting the fact that they just want to leave and you're like, oh, well, tough on them. You know what? Maybe people, you look in the mirror, maybe you can't keep good people because of you. Maybe it's your attitude. Maybe it's the way you talk to them. Maybe it's the fact you don't listen to them. They're always going to tell you it's money. But study after study after study puts money as the reason people leave way down on the list. It'll be the number one reason people give. But the ultimate thing is they want to feel included. They want to feel like they're part of the team. They want to feel like they're cared about. They want to feel like they have a piece of what is going on. And you have to ask yourself, is that the environment that you are creating? And I'm telling you, there are some of you that are not creating that environment. You think you are. I think you probably wish you were, but that is not the type of environment that you're doing. You've got to spend time with these individuals to help them out. When was the last time you sat down with them and just asked them what their goals were or what was going on? And even if it's just, take them to lunch and just go talk to them. Talk to them while you're on the job, whatever the case may be. They've got to feel like you care. And if they don't walk away and go home at night and feel like you care, then I guarantee you when they go home at night, they're just complaining. And you can't be mad that they're complaining because when people go home and complain at night, they complain for one of two reasons. Either they've got a crappy attitude and they shouldn't be on your team, or they do care and that's why they're complaining. Sometimes when we care, we do go home and we complain because we care so much. And what happens is I'll have a business owner that'll well, all they do is bitch and moan. Okay, why are they bitching and moaning? Is it because they care or because they don't care? Two totally different reasons for somebody to be bitching and moaning. And I think that that's sometimes what happens is we make it all about us, all about our ego, and we fail to be the leader that we're trying to be. Listen, you wanted to have this small business. You wanted to take the next step and have employees. The least you can do is show up with strong leadership. You are not going to be an expert out the gate. Unless you had leadership experience before, odds are you're going to screw it up. You're going to muck it up. You're going to make bad decisions. That's okay. What's not okay is not learning from those mistakes and wanting to be better. You need to be out there listening to leadership podcasts, reading leadership books, figuring out sometimes just the basics, what's right, what's wrong. Think about the people that you've worked for in the past. What did you love about working for them? What did you hate about working for them? I'll guarantee you that when you really sit there and you think about this, it's going to be a lot of what I'm talking about today. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about the fact that you need the best people on your team. And you need them to want to be on your team. And you need them to not be upset with the other people that you have on the team. Because a lot of times when you have infighting with your employees, it's because you either have the wrong employees, right? They got the wrong attitude, wrong direction, or they're frustrated. They're frustrated because they're having to cover the other employees. They're having to pick up the slack for them. The other person's making their job 10 times harder, and you won't do anything about it. So not only are they mad at this other employee, they are mad at you. And they're frustrated with you, and they may or may not come across that way to you because they love their job, right? They don't want to lose their job. So they're just not going to tell you about it. And that's some of the stuff that you really need to look at, because at the end of the day, you need to decide what type of boss are you? What type of business are you building? And does everybody on the team know what the expectations are? Do they know what the goals are? Are you including them in what that is? Are you talking about it every single day? Yes, that might seem overkill to you, but you really should be talking to your team on a regular basis about what you guys stand for. What does the business? It's us. It's not you versus them. It's not my business. It's our business. Okay? They're more likely to want to have you succeed if they feel like they're part of it. And I know I'm going over some of that stuff, and I'm really trying to drive home this message for a reason, because I've been having a lot of conversations with people when it comes to their team and how frustrated they are with some members of the team, not necessarily everybody on there, but they're having frustrations with people on their team. And the reality is they're accepting mediocrity. They're afraid they're not going to find somebody to replace them. They're hiring people they never should have hired in the first place, and they know it. They're failing to sit down and communicate with these people with what they're doing well as what they're doing wrong. You need to sit down with people. People need to know where they stand at any given point in time. How can they get better? Don't just tell people, keep doing what you're doing. If I keep doing what I'm doing, then just give me more money because I'm doing exactly what it is that you told me I should be doing. No, they need to have goals. They need to have things that you're pushing them for. You know, your business may not have the next level that they could get promoted into or whatever, but how can you still make their lives better and them feel like they really want to be there working with you? Those are the things that you as a leader always need to be looking at. You need to give tough love. You need to give them bad information, things to help them grow, things that will stretch them, help make them better at all times. But at the same time, you need to love on them, and you need to make sure that they know and have, oh, by the way, they also have the tools they need to be successful. There are times when you're being too cheap. They're telling you that their equipment is terrible. They're telling you that they can't get the job done, or it's taking twice as long because of some poor stuff. You need to have a plan. I'm saying you may not have the money to do it now, but they need to know that you hear them, you care, and that you're putting a plan together to get something replaced, right? Maybe that tool you need to save up some money for. Great. They should know the plan. If they know that you're working for it and what they can do to help, they're more willing to do it. So I could go on about this forever. It's something really important, but I want each and every one of you that is listening, that has employees or is planning on having employees, maybe they're 1099 people, subcontractors, maybe they're actual employees, whatever. If they represent you as the business owner and your business, you need to take this seriously. If you are growing your business and you think you're going to hire someone in the next few months or the next year or 2 years even, start now asking yourself, what type of business owner are you going to be? What kind of leader are you going to be? What can you do right now that will help you be better then? Okay. If you ask some people, it's a hard market. Nobody has jobs. You can't get anybody. If you ask other people, there's like tons of people out there who are looking for jobs. At the end of the day, you want the best people that are out there. The best people that are out there, most of them are going to be working today. So you're going to have to make sure that you're just talking to them and letting them know if they ever want something different, you're there. And you need to create an environment that people are out there talking about your business and how much they love working for your business. And those good people are going to come over. All right. I promise you they will do that. But if they're not working today, great, give them the opportunity, but just sit and talk to them. Don't listen for those AI perfect answers to your questions. You'll feel it. You'll know it. Ask them questions that really get to the heart of what your business stands for and you know what the culture is of your business. And are they a good cultural fit? You know, are they willing to learn? Are they quick to have an attitude? You know what? Take the time up front before you hire them. Talk to them a couple times if you need to. And find out, is this person someone you just got to have on your team? I'd rather you take your time up front, get the right person. They're going to last longer, and you're going to have, and then you just love on them while they're there and give them what they need. I promise you, they're going to be superstars for you. So with that, I'm just rattling. I'll keep going. I'm going to go ahead and end this, but please, whatever you do, if you have people, your profits and your sales are hurting when you don't take care of the people. So just please take care of and train them properly and give them the love they need and hold them accountable, all those different things. And I promise you, your sales will go up, your profits will go up, and at the end of the day, you're going to be a much happier camper than you are today with some of these bad people who are working for you. All right, with that, I'm out of here. I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.